What's up, spectators? Welcome back to another episode of Professor Layton versus Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright. Last time, oh dear lord, what a bad start. They introduced another new mechanic to the game, which is finding a testimony that contradicts a testimony. So what I've done is I've chosen Kira's testimony, which claimed that the fire was so shocking that she couldn't scream or utter a word. And I said that's the contradiction because the drunk guy, Amir, said he heard someone say his name from behind. Of course, we know that it wasn't his name, but the spell. Here we go. Miss Kira! Are you both pointing at me? At the time of the incident, that man heard someone's voice call his name. That voice belonged to you, Miss Kira. It could not have been anyone else. And yet, in your testimony, you stated that you were in such shock during tonight's events that you couldn't even speak. This is a clear contradiction.
Objection!
What? What is the meaning of this, defender? Can you really claim to trust this sham of a witness and his sham of a testimony?
Objection!
That man's character is beside the point. His testimony is anything but a sham. As he watched the flames erupt, his attention was drawn to a voice behind him, which in turn made him fall over. He heard a woman's voice calling his name, a very concrete reason, and reason enough to believe his testimony.
Objection!
If it is as you say, then explain why you feel this witness is somehow responsible. That's right! Why me? People barely hear me when I'm out selling my flowers. That's how soft my voice is. And besides, there was another woman at the scene, wasn't there? Me? What are you getting at, young lady? Do you honestly think a woman my age would be out late at night in the forest, flirting with questionable men? Besides, I didn't even know this pathetic man's name. How could I have called out to him? Neither did I, and even if I did know his name, do you really think he's the kind of guy any self-respecting girl would want? Come on, ladies. Stand here, you know. As I was saying, the only person that guy could have heard from behind him was you, Miss Kira. The defense wishes to present evidence to prove this claim. To accuse a witness like this young lady here, why, this is simply unheard of. I must warn you, defender, if you cannot prove your accusation to this court, you will see the underside of my gavel. And it's right here.
Take that!
Take a look at this and you'll have your answer. This is the crime scene sketch. You can see the position of each witness during the crime. The only person that he could possibly have heard from behind him was none other than Miss Kira.
Objection!
Listen here, Sir Blue Knight. I will only tell you this one more time. A sham of a witness yields only a sham of a testimony. That is all there is to it. I actually feel bad for him now. Did you, in fact, see this flower girl's face? You know, now that you mention it, seeing as I'd fallen down and all, I don't think I saw her face. Okay, but you heard her voice, right? Let me think. The voice came out of nowhere. It was kinda high-pitched. And I guess it sounded like her, but I can't say whether or not it was this girl's voice. And there you have it, Sir Blue Knight. Such a pity. My lord, it is clear that the defense's claim is nothing but a pointless waste of the court's time. I recommend you deliver unto them a penalty befitting such behavior. Indeed, Inquisitor. Ready yourself, defender. What is that laughter? Pardon me, my lord. It looks like you've finally arrived at a decision. That means this has nothing to do with me. Isn't that right, Inquisitor Barnum? What are you saying? I'm saying that it's time for me to stop peddling testimony and get back to peddling flowers. I mean, look at all these flowers left over. It's going to take until sunrise to sell them all if I stay here any longer. Or maybe, my lord, You and the rest of the court would be interested in buying my entire stock of flowers to help a girl out. Ah, no, I don't think. I mean... Then it's settled. Now, if you'll excuse me, my apologies for the interruption. Understood. The court will dismiss the witness. Well, Miss Kira. It would seem you are beginning to show the court your true colors. Oh? Whatever do you mean? Okay then. Everyone, it looks like that's that.
Hold it!
Wait, you can't leave yet. This cross-examination isn't over. Now that's funny. You say it isn't over, and yet the rest of the court seems to think otherwise. Isn't that right, Inquisitor Barnum? The Inquisition maintains that the real witch is the accused, Espella Cantabella. This girl is nothing more than a witness. As such, the court cannot force her to stay against her will. This is bad, if they let her walk out now. Do you think she could be... the real witch? Yes, I said that episodes ago. You really like throwing around accusations, don't you, Sir Defender? Let me spell it out for you one last time, so even you can understand. I didn't know this man's name at all before today. I still don't remember it. So, how could I have called out to him? Do you get it now? Now then, until we meet again, don't forget to buy some flowers on your way home, everyone.
Hold it.
One moment, please, Miss Kira. Is there something else you wanted? You don't seem to realize what you just let slip. What are you talking about? This man testified that he heard his name called out the crime scene, called at the crime scene. However, you had no knowledge of his name at the time, is that correct? That's right. This weirdo is just imagining things. Like I said, I've already forgotten his name, even though he told it to us earlier. There is just one problem, Miss Kira. Namely, what the voice he heard tonight was actually saying. What do you mean? That's obvious. It was a name, wasn't it? Now, what was that name again? My lord, I'm still here, you know. You're saying that what this man heard tonight wasn't a name, but rather something else entirely. Indeed I am, Inquisitor Barnum. There's only one other thing it could be. It's a stretch, but the possibility is still there, or is there. That's right, Mr. Wright. That single possibility is the key to solving this mystery. Is the defense ready to present its evidence to the court? This is ridiculous! I demand you let me go this instant! Witness, what you are being accused of is not to be taken lightly. You will not leave this courtroom so long as any reasonable doubt remains. Oh, I'm ready. Oh, I'm frickin' ready, man. And boom!
Take that!
Excuse me, mister. I'm sorry, what's your name again? You've, got a name that no one seems to be able to remember for some reason.
Hey, it's Amir. Me name's Amir, darn it.
No matter the number of times you say it, you do not look an Amir. Again, I only remember my most loyal customers' names, and he doesn't look like he could afford even a single daisy. Come on, guys. Stop kicking a guy when he's down. Mr. Amir, what you heard tonight at the crime scene was not your name. Your name just so happens to sound exactly like a certain other name. Another name? The answer is right here in this tome. I'm talking about Amir. What he actually heard at the time wasn't his own name. It was the name of a magical incantation. What the? Miss Kira, have you forgotten what you said just a few minutes ago? You quite clearly stated that you didn't know this man's name.
Objection!
Sir Blue Knight, let me get this straight. You're saying that the Amir heard by the witness was actually said by this flower girl, and that it was not his name at all, but rather the incantation of a magic spell. The defense proposes the following. The true criminal, this supposed witch, is not the defendant, Miss Espella Cantabella, but instead, the witness who was heard uttering the magic incantation, Miss Kira. She's our witch. You used magic to vanish from the scene, and tried to frame Miss Cantabella instead. No! What just happened? Is that girl not a witch?
Unbelievable! I've never heard anything like that.
Have those two really defeated Inquisitor?
Objection!
An impressive display, Sir Blue Knight. It would seem you have finally managed to hone your blade. However, I believe that blade's edge is already beginning to dull. I am referring to a contradiction, naturally. My lord, the Inquisition would like to set the record straight regarding what transpired this evening. Very well, Inquisitor Barnum. Sir Blue Knight, you claim the following. At the time of the crime, the accused Espella Cantabella was surrounded by the two rogues. Then, in order to frame the accused as a witch, Miss Kira cast the spell Demir and made herself vanish. She then moved in closer to the victims, at which point she cast Ignace, thus causing the incident seen by our witness tonight. Indeed, that does seem to be the claim. The problem is what happened next. There is a contradiction in the defense's account of Miss Kira's movements. Allow me to continue. The witnesses have stated that they each ventured out towards the crime scene. Which is when Miss Kira, the witch, made her way to this point while still invisible. When she arrived at said spot, she then cast Amir and reappeared to join the other witnesses. And there you have it. That is accurate, isn't it, Sir Blue Knight? That's correct. Then Mr. Amir heard her call his name. Well then, I have but one question that I would like you to answer. Why would a witch need to do such a thing? What do you mean? Supposing Miss Kira were a witch, surely she would not have made the conscious decision to reappear when she did. One would imagine she would remain hidden and flee the crime scene. Quite right. That's what I'd do if I was a witch. Given that point, there would be no viable reason for her to recite the incantation. In other words, it is inconceivable that this flower seller, Miss Kira, could be a witch. Ah, that is interesting. Why would she do that?
That's right! You all heard it! It's just as Inquisitor Barnum said! Me, a witch! The idea is laughable!
Not good. She's completely bounced back to her feet. Ooh, we were so close too.
I can't believe Inquisitor Barnum! Can't he see it?
You just,
You just had to take one good look at her! It's obvious she's the real witch!
Remember, Mr. Wright, at times like this, a cool head will prevail. I'm sure you have had to fight your way out of circumstances such as these many times before. This situation is no different. As a defense attorney, what would you usually do at such a time? There's only one thing that can get me out of a situation like this. I've got to flip this case on its head and think outside the box. It would seem the defense has nothing further to add. Why, of course, that's because everyone knows the truth. They know that girl right there is the real witch. That settles it then. Go ahead and deliver your verdict, my lord.
Objection!
The situation is exactly as you described. It really doesn't make much sense for the witch to have used a mirror. Regardless, the defense still maintains that Miss Kira did utter that incantation and make herself reappear. Now, the question is, for what reason? Is it because she thought she was safe because she couldn't see anyone because she didn't have her glasses? If she really didn't have to use that spell, then why use it in the first place? If I can find the answer to that question, then this entire case will start to unravel. Most fascinating. Very well, allow us to hear this theory of yours. Tell the court why it was necessary for the witch to appear at the crime scene. We're still in the game. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. The reason Miss Kira reappeared at the crime scene was... These are all really good. The witness is good. To give herself an alibi is pretty good. Should I use a hint coin for this? I'm trying to think here. I don't know. The answer is obvious. She must have wanted to become a witness herself.
Objection!
Sir Blue Knight, do not slam your hands down on the desk unless you have a strong point to make. The same goes for your mouth. I messed up, didn't I? Have a look at the number of witnesses. We already have 4 other willing witnesses. Becoming a witness on purpose, she would accomplish nothing. She may as well have sat in the stands and watched the trial. Well, you don't know that for sure. Crap. Something tells me you must be thinking something, what? Along the lines of, he is absolutely right. Please quit reading my mind. Alright, alright. The alibi. Let's go with the... Wait. I don't... Screw it. I have so many coins. See, I would have gotten it wrong. It's to cover up her crime. I can't think of any other possibility. This has to be the answer. Isn't it obvious? She was trying to cover up her own crime. Oh, is that right? Tell me, why would she do that? Well, just give me a minute. I'm getting to that part. That will not be necessary, Sir Blue Knight. Think about it. What would she have to hide? If no one could have seen her to begin with. Me. You heard the good Inquisitor. No matter how you look at it, there'd be no reason for me to reappear. Assuming I was the criminal, that is.
Objection!
Pardon the interruption, but that's not necessarily the case. Mr. Layton. Explain yourself, Sir Top Hat. You have stated that Miss Kira had no reason to reappear. However, the situation changed and it became necessary for her to show herself. Isn't that right, Miss Kira? Huh? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you mean. It would seem the defense must clarify their argument with evidence. Mr. Wright, I believe that Miss Kira did not intend to reveal herself at the crime scene. Rather, that something occurred which forced this young lady to make herself reappear. What was so important that she had to reappear and risk being spotted? Tell the court why it would have been necessary for the witch to appear at the crime scene. Should I go with the glasses? I mean, they gave me this. I feel like I have to present it. Should I do it? Let's risk it. Let's put everything on the line.
Take that!
Miss Kira, you usually wear glasses, is that correct? Huh? It's like I already told you. I lost my glasses a few days ago. Are you absolutely sure about that? Or did you not, in fact, lose them tonight, during the crime? Of course not! Perhaps you accidentally dropped them while you were committing the crime. Then, as you were attempting to make your escape, you noticed they were gone. Therefore, you made yourself reappear, in order to search for your missing glasses. No!
Objection!
And since this is such a good climax of the case, I'm gonna end this episode here, so you guys can watch the conclusion of this next time. Bye-bye!